For me naman po yung issue that I see is the hostility din. There are people talaga who are not readily accepting of LGBT, having open discussions, having an open mind. Tapos, kasi as much as we want to rely on social media, there's just a lot of things there din na hindi naman accurate or parang very biased din po.
True.
Dapat nilang ma-realize kung bakit nga ba hindi pa rin nila matanggap hanggang ngayon, and they should i-try nilang maghanap ng reason para matanggap naman nila finally yung community.
The people who are silent in their acceptance, they can be more vocal, especially in intermingled groups between people who are accepting and people who are not, which just helps create that safe space for those people who live in that grey zone between acceptance and hate.
Little comments na people would make. Kasi pag minsan hindi napapansin, parang akala nila joke lang or something, pero deep inside ma-offend ka. It's better to call out that action. Kasi parang the more that we ignore it, the more that it would get worse. Parang
I'm part of the community, I'm bisexual. There are some people who say hindi totoo ang pagiging bisexual, like choose a side, ano ka ba talaga, ganon, diba?
Naka-record na ba? Naka-record naman. Wala, kumulog tuloy. Yan. So, hi guys. Thank you for watching. So, hello! Charot! So, welcome to another episode of our community discussions. So, we just showed the film earlier. So, I just want to know your thoughts kasi we are a community, whether we are part of the rainbow or we support or you are allies of the community. So I just want to share a discussion with the community. So parang thoughts on how did you feel about the film? So pasa-pasa na lang tayo ng microphone. Let's start. And before that, can you just introduce yourself and just tell me what do you do? Pasa-pasa na lang ng microphone. Okay.
I'm Giselle. I'm a student in SLU po. I study Med Bio. And my insights on the film naman po, it's very eye-opener, I guess. Kasi it's not always naman na you see people from the community na lalo na from different angles. Kasi sometimes what we see is only what we want to see. Tapos from that naman, it gave me a different perspective, I guess. To see na we know naman na hindi naman laging maganda yung start ng LGBT community.
True.
Lalo na from the past where it's really restricted and not very welcomed. So to see the past in the perspective of the present or from the future, na we can really see na different po talaga.
True.
Na parang we've really gone beyond the restrictions and stuff like that po.
Next.
Okay, so I'm Erica and I'm also a student studying sa SLU. And siguro isa sa mga nag-resonate sa akin na part ng movie or message ng movie is yung sa yung parang nag-crisis sila sa kung anong gagawin nila dun sa money na binigay for the film. Feeling ko kasi parang it's something na ang hirap talagang pag-reflectan, especially if yun nga, kung tumanda ka na wala kang family na iniisip, ganyan. Tapos, ayun, so parang medyo na buksan din yung isip ko sa perspective nila. Like yung part na talagang hirap silang mag-decision kung saan nila pwedeng ilaan yung parang reward or yung check na binigay sa kanila. So, I think maganda rin siyang topic na pag-reflectan natin sa community. Kasi all the more na parang nabibigyan ako ng paano ba? nabibigyan ako ng idea sa kung ano yung mga iba pang struggles nila besides sa yung fact na hindi pa sila fully accepted ganun sa general na general ano ba parang community ganun. Ayun, so yun. Isa rin siya sa mga magandang topics to reflect on, I think. So,
Pressure, ha? I'm Jay. I'm also a student from SLU. Siguro ang key takeaway ko from the film, kasi from the start, I guess, you can see how trauma is masked behind humor. Parang within our community, we can never see very very recent lang na we see people from the community na hindi comedian or something na very funny or something na sinaseryoso na sila to this day, which is very eye-opening kasi in the film's perspective din, makikita mo na yung buhay nila is mahirap kasi hindi sila ano ba? Basta yun. I know. Ayun. Pero behind all that humor, behind all the laughs, parang they still make a name for themselves, and which is good for our community kasi ayun nga, we can't just live a life inside of the closet. We need to be out loud and proud for who we are.
Josh?
Thank you. I'm Josh. I'm a poet, and I'm here in Baguio. I liked the relationship between the two. It was both interdependent, and it wasn't a gentle friendship. They would push each other on personal trauma and their position as a counsellor and in the closet, and I thought that was a really behind the curtain look at the need for friendship, and when they were talking about getting older, how they weren't ready to accept their own age, and where they fit into the community, seeing themselves as younger and still desirable. So yeah, that's mine.
Hi, I'm Karen. I own a small concept store in Upper Mabini. Nag-resonate naman sa akin yung sinabi ni Markova na gusto ko sa second life ko, bakla pa rin ako. So, parang it really showed the struggles, and kahit ang daming niyang pinagdaanan, he still wouldn't trade it for the world. So you would still choose to be part of the community. So that's...
Thank you, Karen. Sige. Sige. Hawak mo muna, Jay. So, next question is, how do you see how different yung LGBT or the rainbow community comparing now at saka before? How do you see the difference now?
From before po kasi, as I said earlier, it's very restricted. It's very restrictive. Parang it's not really a closet, it was a jail.
Yeah.
It really was not accepted to be anything else than to be a boy and a girl. Pero in our days now, syempre, LGBTQ++ na po. It's it's progressed really far. It's gone beyond what we thought it could be, and it's gone beyond what it shows na kaya pala natin maging ganito, kaya nating maging community without malice as compared to dati po.
Yes. Next.
actually, medyo similar din po. I think with the progress na naganap na sa atin as people, hindi na may tatago na mas accepted na sila yung community ngayon kaysa yung noon. So, I think that would be a good result po ng nung progress tsaka ng pag-develop din po ng nung kaisipan po nating lahat as mga tao. So, yun.
Pwede bang copy-paste na ako? Sorry. Pero ayun, very similar din. Kasi if we look through the lens of time, parang, ayun, very similar talaga yung answer ko sa kanya. Kasi makikita natin yung pag-develop ng acceptance within, from people outside of the community towards our community. So, parang yung ano natin dun is, ano ba? Ayun, very much natatanggap na din ng mga tao kung sino ang people na nasa community as well as the people in the community themselves. Parang mas natatanggap na nila yung sarili nila and they can express themselves more freely and to be themselves. Ayan.
I see that today is much more accepting, much more open, and society is gentler to people. Like the name of it as the comfort gay, I don't think would be assigned to somebody today if they were talking about the crimes and the trauma that they went through. So I think there's a lot more open and accepting and less sensationalizing of people outside of the closet.
Thank you. Next.
Sabi na lahat. Siguro, sabihin ko na lang yung medyo similarities. Yung need for friendship ng community. And gaya din nung sinabi niya kanina, yung humor plays a big part. I remember a friend of mine who's trans, and she was like, when I was growing up, na talaga ako, very flamboyant. Ako yung life of the party kasi bakla ka na nga, malungkot ka pa. Parang ganoon. So they have to be fun. So we also saw that there. Kahit anong generation pa.
Sige, Miss Karen, ikaw na next para hindi makaagawan ng sagot. Okay. So, this is second to the last question natin is, I'll read lang. So, as a person who is part or as a person who supports LGBTQIA+ or the rainbow community, what do you see na ano yung struggles ng community now, and how can you take part or what can you do in your simple way para to help that struggle somehow be alleviated, or just to do something about that struggle that you can see or you can observe?
Struggles of the community now, I think within the community meron pa ring discrimination. Like I'm part of the community, I'm bisexual. There are some people who say hindi totoo ang pagiging bisexual, like choose a side, ano ka ba talaga, gano'n, diba? Or some people who are trans, may stigma din sa if you're a butch versus if you're a femme.
True.
Ayun, may gano'n. So, isa sa dapat sigurong isipin ng mga tao, bakit may ganun within the community, right? If we're just fighting for one thing, it's for acceptance. So we should also look into ourselves, bakit natin ginagawa sa ibang tao if that's also what we want to get from other people.
Thank you. Josh.
Thank you. As also a straight presenting bisexual person, it's easier for me to avoid the struggles. In fact, I sidestep them almost entirely. So it's something I see the struggles that people have with coming out to family, coming out to friends. And something that I can do is increase my visibility, and do that to help make space for other people. So that's.
Thank you. Next, Jay.
For me, I guess, is yung little comments na people would make. Kasi pag minsan hindi napapansin, parang akala nila joke lang or something, pero deep inside ma-offend ka. Parang ganun. Yun lang naman for me.
How could it be overcome or in your own simple way?
Sometimes, it's better to call out that action. Kasi parang, the more that we ignore it, the more that it would get worse. Parang, hindi na siya yung little comments na lang, magiging talagang insult na siya pag minsan. Parang gano'n.
Oh. Next.
Siguro related din dun sa mga jokes, yung mga insensitive comments. Kasi may mga times na meron pa rin yung mga parang negative na stereotyping sa mga LGBTQ. So tapos parang i-address yun ng mga tao in a way na parang joke lang dapat pero hindi siya nakakatawa ganun. And so what I can do for that is to call people out kasi yun na nga nandun ka na nakita mo na nangyari yun. So kung nandun ka and kaya mong i-call out yung mali na sinabi ng taong yun, then that would be something na pwede mong gawin for the person.
For me naman po yung issue that I see is the hostility din, yung parang kay ate, na there are people talaga who are not readily accepting of LGBT. And yung snide comments, the hostility, or minsan clueless lang po, ganun. And for me, I think one way to overcome that is having open discussions. Being able to talk with one another regardless of who you are, who you want to be. Having an open mind. Tapos, kasi as much as we want to rely on social media, there's just a lot of things there din na hindi naman accurate or parang very biased din po.
True. Okay, second to the last question. Sige, Jay, ikaw na una. What's your message to the people, parang who either accepts or doesn't accept the community? Parang ano yung gusto mong sabihin sa kanila?
What? Pero, in essence, yun nga, why? Kasi parang, people would just want to be who they are. Who are we to tell them who, what, or how they can be themselves? To the people that accept naman, thank you very much. And I do hope na it would continue and you could also help the community to spread more love.
Josh.
Going on from that as well, the people who are silent in their acceptance, they can be, more vocal, especially in intermingled groups between people who are accepting and people who are not, which just helps create that that safe space for those people who live in that grey zone between acceptance and hate.
Miss Karen?
Sa akin naman, for people who don't accept, minsan kasi it's a matter of educating them. So, minsan generational din. Gaya nung sinabi kanina na hindi accepted before kasi talaga. So now it's people are more accepting, pero yung older generation pa rin makikita natin. So, I think meron din tayong role na piniplay. We have to educate people within our family siguro. Like, one of my struggles coming out is hindi ako din accepted ng family ko fully. And when I was older, that's when I had the courage to really tell them na isa yun sa mga pinagdaanan ko when I was younger. So yung effect ng mga ganong bagay sa LGBTQ person growing up, they have to understand, and if they love us, I think they'll find a way to see that. Doon naman sa mga tao who accept, like what Josh said, we have to be more vocal. and yun, educate people. Sa ayaw talaga kahit na educate na wala, meron talagang mga ganun eh. So just let them siguro, and let's just live our happy lives.
Oh,
For me naman po, I would also like to ask the question why. Because from a wider perspective, we're all just people. We're all just the same. We're all the same. We're just humans trying to make a living, trying to live life to the fullest. And the only difference is kung sino man yung gusto nating mahalin or kung may mamahalin ba tayo, ganon. And to the people naman po who are accepting, I think I would just say the same na parang we should be more upfront, more active. Ganon.
Okay, so dun sa mga people na accepting, I think pagpatuloy nyo lang yan and mas lalo nyo pang pagbutihan yung pagpapakita ng support. Kasi kahit sabihin natin na mas in a way accepted na sila yung LGBTQ sa community, we still got a long way to go, I believe. So I think ipagpatuloy lang natin yung pag-support sa kanila. And then for those na hindi accepting, come on guys, it's 2025. Ayan nga, sabi nga ni Giselle, we're all just people, pare-pares tayong mga tao dito. So, I think dapat nilang ma-realize kung bakit nga ba hindi pa rin nila matanggap hanggang ngayon, and they should itry nilang maghanap ng reason para matanggap naman nila finally yung community.
Okay, last question. Magkano ang kwento ng buhay mo? How much is your life story?
Gaya dun sa film po, priceless.
No, next. Next.
Yeah, I think I would go with priceless din po.
Di natin pag-uusapan. Confidential fund po yun.
I think mine is free. Very happy to share my story and get things out there. But I wouldn't want to sell my trauma.
Same. I'll keep my trauma.
Oh, okay. So guys, we hope you got a glimpse of this discussion. I know parang the struggle and the challenges are still coming, pero parang we're happy that you were able to stick around with this episode of our podcast. We hope you still continue supporting the community, whether it's Pride Month or not, and see you on to the next episode. Thank you guys. Bye. Cut. Okay. So guys, after this one,